Hey YouTube, it's SoulPrime13, this time with a full video review. This time we're going to be looking at the new crossover Transformers Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Party Wallop. So here we have his instructions, which are actually in basically full color. Was not expecting that. That's really nice. So that's kind of cool, and it goes over all the accessories and stuff too, and how to switch out the face plates to make them the different turtles. Put that to the side. We do have his box. It kind of came apart while I was opening it up, but it's still mostly one piece. Got the turtles there. We got the Party Wallop in vehicle mode. We got our crossover emblem. We got the legal jargon. More turtles. We got our product shots vehicle mode. And robot mode. And the different turtles here. And not really much on the top because it was sort of a flat top box, but get this stuff out of the way. He is packaged in robot mode, but I thought it might be better to start in vehicle mode. That's how I just feel like it would be better to start that way. And the transformation is pretty straightforward, so it's pretty much the same going back and forth. But this is a really neat figure. I mean, I grew up watching Ninja Turtles 2. I can't remember which was, I think the first one I remember, they discovered like an underground alien civilization or something. It's been a very long time, but that's something I remember because I also played the video game related to it. And there was like some blue alien that they like buddied around with or something. But it has been a while. But yeah, here we got the front has got that sort of angry face going on with the chest bumper. This turtle shell cap does come off, and there is a pizza inside, which is hilarious because we all know the turtles love their pizza. Put that back. Got some nice paint decals for the teeth, headlights, and turn signals. They got these lights. These do move. They actually just peg in. These are plugged in when you open it. This little sort of satellite piece, I'm not entirely sure what it's supposed to be. This does compact detach, but you know, it's again, it just pegs into the little hole here. So these cannons can move up and down, and they are in fact blast compatible, so if you want, you can have your turtles doing some Daka action if you so choose. And he clearly rolls nicely. He's got pinned wheels. Get these out of here. And one thing that I really before I finish, he's got some nice light blue for the windshield, some silver decals, got silver on the hubcaps, tail lights, some more blue. Got a nice turtle shell pattern. This obviously becomes his back in robot mode. But anyway, as I was saying, one thing I really love is that despite the high number of accessories, they all fit on the actual figure. Like you can see here that the swords, the katanas for Leonardo, and the sais, S-I-A-I, for Raphael, store here on the bottom. These are the only ones that you can't just leave on during transformation, but that in itself is still very impressive. I did find that the swords are kind of a pain in the butt to get in there. The connection slot is really tight right here. And as you can see, it knocked off the sides, which just peg into the thighs here. We're going to go ahead and take them off and put them to the side. But yeah, you can see some of the robot bits under there. And kind of funnily, all the vehicle mode parts do, for the most part, integrate into the robot mode. It's sort of almost like a samurai armor in a way. Which the reason I find that ironic is that the literal turtle is not a shell former. So I just think that's kind of funny. But yeah, nice solid vehicle mode. He fits together really well, and again, the transformation is pretty smooth. The only part I had any issue with is these little panels right here. If you put this part down and try and push them, they'll come out. What you need to do is you can sort of see that they lock. You can kind of hear it too. Yeah, you click it in and then you put it in and it sits nice and flat, nice and flush. So, and again, that's a really simple thing. It's not like it ruins the whole transformation. It doesn't fight you. You just got to make sure that you lock it into place before you put it in. So other than that, the transformation is really just buttery smooth, and I love that. This is a great figure. But without further ado, let's do a couple size comparisons. Okay, for our first size comparison, let's bring in the Golden Standard Earthrise Prime. And this guy is around the cost of a leader class. I believe he was about $50, so I think that's actually $5 cheaper. Either way, he's around that price, and you can see he is certainly a large figure. Yep. There we go. We'll bring in our other recent crossover, the Target Laser Optimus Prime. So there is that. Obviously these vehicles are not to scale. But yeah, there is that. And for one more, we'll bring in our other recent, our Surfer Boy Pizza crossover, the Stranger Things. You can see he is significantly larger. And for scientific purposes, we must also compare their pizzas. Yes, as you can see, the Teenage Mutant Ninja pizza would not fit into the Surfer Boy box, which means you're getting more pizza with the turtles. It's important, people. That's important. Alright. Now, what, you don't want your pizza back anymore? There we go. Alright. But now, pizza analytics aside, we should go ahead and get down to transformation. So, first thing you want to do is you're going to pop these panels up. Pop these up. Flip these forward. These you can just go ahead and fold over like so. Fold over like so. Going to separate this top section, bring these up, and separate this. And you can see Michelangelo's nunchucks store here. And we're just going to go ahead and bring this whole thing. You sort of want to separate the arms. There we go. Then you can bring this part forward and it will sort of nestle in. There is a little slot here that will go over this bit on the knee that just ever so slightly locks it into place, which is nice. Flip out these heels and fold the wheels underneath, and then rotate these down, and there you have the lower body all ready to go. Then we are going to come back and separate these arms, and let's bring this up a little bit and then bring them forward, rotate the fists into place, bring the arms down, bring the arms down, rotate these and fold them down over the shoulders. Then we can bring up the head like so. And for this back, we're going to bring this up, and then we're going to sort of use the double joints here to bring this down, and this gray piece will slide into the back of the head here. It's not the most secure connection, but it does at least hold for the most part. Yeah, it won't, come from shaking. And then the last part we want to do is we're going to take these panels and we're going to fold them up, and you can see all the different heads under there. So yeah, oops, this came undone. But yeah, just sort of push that up against the back, and there we have Party Wallop in his robot mode. And like I said, it's a pretty straightforward transformation, and it's buttery smooth. It's very nice. Oh yeah, we do want to orient these properly. But yeah, it's a nice transformation. I like it, and it does have a very straightforward robot mode. So now to go over the features of the, let's start with the articulation. So obviously you get a little bit of heel, swivel, or pivot, whatever here. You do get ankle tilt. It's kind of stiff past a certain point, but you do get it. He does have 90 degrees at the knee. His leg can go pretty far back. The backpack does kind of get in the way. The leg does come forward. This whole front piece does come off, so his leg can go further, and there is a little peg here that you can use to make it into a shield. We'll show that off shortly. We'll just put that to the side for now. For shoulders, you get a full 360, and there's a little bit of movement with his shoulder armor. You can move the arm up and down that far. You do get a bicep rotation, and there is some rotation in the wrist. It's pretty stiff on mine, not super stiff, but you might turn the arm as well if you're not holding on to it. And technically you do get a little bit of wrist tiltage because of that transformation joint. These do move side to side if you want. Then he does get a pretty good split. And he can do the X pose, so to speak. So there is that. He does have waist rotation. As long as you clear that backpack out of the way, he does get full 360 at the waist. His head does seem to be on a ball joint. There's plenty of wiggle waggle up and down, and a full 360 rotation. And there are some hinges with the backpack, but it's not really supposed to be something that you're moving around, but if you really want to, you can. That is a thing you can do. So there is his articulation. Come on. Plug back in. Plug back in. There we go. But yeah, like I said, the backpack plug-in is not the most secure thing. There are these that are supposed to go in here, but again, it doesn't really seem to hold. And there it goes. It's holding at least. Yep, see, there it goes. It's just super easy to bump off. Now let's see, let's move on to the accessories. We'll go ahead and take out one of these nunchucks. And again, he does have two. He does have the full assortment of weapons for each turtle. You can peg this in. It doesn't really go super deep in the fist, but it does go in there. So there is Michelangelo. Leonardo, obviously he comes with the two katanas. Those both fit Raphael's Psi. Obviously he can hold those. And the final weapon, if we come back here to where all the headpieces are, his staff does plug into this back area. And if I can... There we go. Just make things easier on myself. And that does fold out. And again, stiff grip, but you can have him hold that. Come on. And then I'm just gonna show this off with one. They all are the same aside from the color. There's just this little peg hole, and they all have a spot they fit onto. And as you can see, there is a specific shape to it, so there's a specific way that it fits onto that peg. And then you just pop this headpiece off, and then you just put on the turtle you want, and there you go. And for the belt, you can lift this panel up, and there is a rotating face with the 4 letters and 1 blank to make it the turtle you want. And then again, you can just give him whichever weapons you want. And again, I'm really impressed that they went as far as to make sure that everything could store on the actual figure. There are so many times where you'll get something and they'll have a spot for like maybe 1 or 2 accessories, and then everything else, you know, either has to switch out or just has to, you know, sit on the side. You gotta find a little plastic baggie to keep it in, you know, all that horrible stuff. But yeah, they really went out of their way to make sure that everything could store. The only downside, before I do that, again, this does form a shield. You just fold this piece down, and then there's a peg on his arm. So yeah, you can have him with a shield. Anyway, the only issue I have is that these can't rotate to like fold back against the arm, because they are actually a single piece with the fist, as you can see here. And yeah, it's a solid piece. There's no rotation there, which that's pretty much my only real complaint, is that he doesn't have a rotation there to sort of streamline his arms up a bit. But yeah, we're gonna put these accessories all back. Oh no, I broke it! Thank goodness for friction joints. And put that there. And like I said, all this can stay in during transformation and all that. And we'll put the nunchuck back under. And the way the nunchuck works is, you can see there's a little gap right here and right here, and they just sort of slide into these like so and like so. Yep. And again, he has one for each arm. Now, as I mentioned, the sais and katanas cannot store during transformation, because they actually store here and here in the vehicle mode. But they can store separately on the vehicle or on the robot mode. The swords can go into these slots right here. You can put them either way. The pegs are the same on both sides. So I do find that the swords fit. Come on, man, you're on camera. They do fit better in the robot mode storage. But yeah, and then the size, again, there is a little peg on each side, and they fit right here on the back of the wheel. So, like this, and like this. So he can store everything still. in his robot mode, which is good. Anyway, time to bring in some size comparisons again. Okay, so here he is once again next to Earthrise Prime, and you can see he, including his backpack, he's definitely a little bit taller, but he is definitely a much bulkier figure. Very much so. But there is that. Here we have him next to the Target Optimus Prime and his Bullseye gift card, which you may not know this, but some Targets do carry pizza, so you could use this card to get more pizza. Very important. But yeah, as you can see with his shoulder pads, he's a good bit taller, but again, this is more of a bulky figure. And our other crossover pizza guy, the server boy from Stranger Things. And again, he is just a completely different league, just size and height and bulk and all that. But yeah, there is that. So I know there are going to be quite a few people who are buying this figure 4 times to get all the turtles, and I won't deny that I was at least a little tempted to do that, but I do not have that kind of budget available at the moment. If you know there are others left over down the line and they go on sale, I might consider that. But either way, I don't blame people for wanting multiple, because this is a great figure. Again, he's bulky, he's you know, not too simple, but he's not by any means overcomplicated or frustrating. He's got storage for all of his accessories. That transformation is just buttery smooth, and he really just hits all the boxes if you are a fan of the Ninja Turtles as well as Transformers. He's got just about everything you could really want. You know, he can be all 4 turtles, he's got all the weapons, he's even got a silly little pizza accessory, because we all know the turtles love their pizza. But again, I really don't have anything too negative to say. The only thing I would change is make these rotate. But you know, with these shoulder pieces here, I kind of understand why they may not have done that. And it probably would have, you know, been a lot more on the engineering and the part count, you know, and it's not the end of the world. I mean, you can still use his hands. There's, you know, enough space. It's really a very, very minor complaint. Like, and again, that's really my only complaint. That, like, that's the most I can, you know, come up with about, like, what's wrong with this guy, is that they could have added. They didn't even need to. They could have. So really, I gotta give this guy like a solid 9.5. You know, he's about as close to perfect as you could really want out of a crossover figure. He just hits all the notes. He, you know, I can't really, you know, say anything too negative about him. You know, he's just a great figure. So, you know, if you like Ninja Turtles, or you're just looking to collect all the weird crossovers like I have been, make sure to pick up at least one of these guys. At least one. You know, you don't need to go for the full shebang of all 4 turtles if you're not that huge of a fan, but he's at least worth getting one. So, that's my review of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Transformers crossover Party Wallop.